Without a doubt, advertising plays a very important role in the marketing communications. It is no wonder that every one of us, especially the marketers, are very much concerned about how their advertisement is working, considering the kind of investment they have made for making the same. In this video, I'm going to help you understand how advertising works using uh, two models, namely AIDA's theory and hierarchy of effects model. So AIDA's model is something which is very familiar for every one of us. AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. The most important role for any advertisement is to create the attention, that is, to gain the attention of the consumers through the communication you are going to make. Attention can be either grabbed by using an image, logo, color, sound, layout, taglines, in the modern day, even influencers. Advertisements must be designed to attract the consumers so that when they see it, they will attend it. Once you are able to attract the consumer's attention, now your advertisement must generate an interest in the minds of the consumer. Interest can be gained by an attractive sub-ads or by using different executional frameworks of advertising appeals. We will be discussing about various executional frameworks of advertising appeals in the next unit in detail. The third step an advertisement must do is to plant desire in the minds of the consumer to use the product. The element of desire is created by use of product information explaining the necessity to the consumer on why he must buy the particular product, or the advertisement can establish an emotional bond with the consumer so that the consumer may generate a desire to buy your product. Once you are able to attract the consumer, create an interest in him, and plant a desire in his heart to buy your product, now it is time to pull the consumer for action. That is, your advertisement should convince the consumer to initiate a favorable action. So this is a very simple model which normally marketers understand better, and they also they also integrate this model into their advertising strategies. Hierarchy of effects model is based on AIDA's model with slight modifications. Hierarchy of effects model says that a consumer go through different stages before he buys a particular product. It also suggests that the consumer will only make a purchase only when he passes through all these stages. So these are the 6 stages this particular model is suggesting the consumer will go through. Stages such as awareness, knowledge, creating a liking towards a particular brand or a product, preferring a particular brand or a product among various offerings in the markets, and then developing a conviction towards the brand, and then finally making the purchase behavior. So, for a better understanding, we have categorized all these steps into 3 categories, such as step number 1, that is creating awareness and the consumer having a knowledge on your product, can be achieved by developing cognitive advertisements. Stages such as liking, preference, and conviction, it can be achieved by coming out with effective advertisement. The final stage where the consumer makes a purchase, that is his purchase behavior, can, if you are able to come out with a conative advertisement. All these advertisements will be discussed in detail in the next unit. So basically this model says that it is based on the assumption that the people will first learn something from your advertisement, then they form feelings about your product in the advertisement, and finally takes an action. So that is why we have again categorized all these phases into learning phase, feeling phase, and finally the action phase where the consumer will be making a purchase. But do you think it is realistic? Consider an example where you as a consumer want to buy chocolate. Do you think at this moment or in this situation where you have to buy a chocolate, will you be in need of having enormous information to make a decision of buying a chocolate? Obviously, no. Does that mean this model is wrong? I don't think so, because I want you to consider another situation where you want to buy a different product, maybe an expensive car, or you want to buy an expensive house. So in that particular situation, yes, obviously you will be put through the first phase, that is the cognitive phase, where you will require a lot of information to process, and then you will be able to create a liking towards the particular decision you want to make. So this model is true, and it depends on what kind of customer and what kind of situation you are currently in. So like I said, the preferences do not always need a cognitive basis. Consumer may be able to establish a preference for a brand because it was recommended by his friend, or even he may be able to generate a preference on a particular brand just by watching the advertisement of that particular brand without having any information about the product features in details. So I want to conclude this video saying that the sequence of this particular model may change according to the consumers or the product's characteristics. But it is important as a marketer. It is important for you as a marketer to keep in mind that these three consumer responses are always required in order to consider your advertisement effective. So in the next video, we'll be talking about consumers' approach to the buying process using FCB grid.